It's 7 o'clock. Welcome to Mona's Kitchen. How are you? Happy Tuesday, but I guess it doesn't really matter what day of the week it is anymore. I don't know. Happy day. It's a rainy night here in Boston, but I'm going to make it sunny for you, and we're going to make an amazing dinner tonight, an apricot chicken skillet. And we'll be done with it. The whole thing will be made in literally 15 minutes, which is so awesome. And there's just 10 minutes of prep, which I did ahead of time. And I just want to show you, I put a picture up online, but look how delicious this is. And this is like one serving. Can you believe it? So we're gonna have our 2 to 3 cups of vegetables, our chicken, our healthy fats. So let's get started. So what I'm doing right now, I'm heating up the oil, and I have a combination of both avocado oil and sesame oil. And I like combining the two oils because if you do sesame oil all at once, it's much too intense. But if you use an oil like avocado oil, it's really good because it's a high heat oil, which means you can go up to 500 degrees, and it's just really awesome. So what I've done first is I've cut up my chicken breast, and this is for about 7 or 8 ounces of chicken breast. Per person you want about 6 ounces. I just made half. This will make together about 3 meals because Doug likes having it for lunch the next day. So this is 1.5 portions, about 8 ounces of chicken. I've dredged it in some cornstarch, or you can use arrowroot and some salt and some pepper. And one thing you really want to make sure is that you dry the chicken before you coat it, because what will happen, the chicken won't brown if you don't do it that way. So I'm going to put my chicken in right now into the pan. Okay. Can you hear that sizzle? So good. So we're gonna cook up the chicken. It's gonna take about 3 to 4 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'll talk to you a little bit about the recipe. So why I really like this recipe is that it's a one pan, one and done meal. It's done in 13 minutes, and it's a combination. Remember, you know my motto where I always want to get, do you remember? 2 to 3 cups of vegetables with every serving. What we're going to make tonight is about 2.5 cups of vegetables. And what I really like is the sauce. The sauce is a really interesting combination of salty and savory. And when you put salt and sweet together, you get this amazing enhancement. So we're going to have a combination of apricot preserves, of course, and some tamari sauce. Tamari is just a gluten-free soy sauce. And we're going to have a little salt and pepper, and of course I'm going to add in my orange zest. I love the zest. Again, it's calorie-free, lots of vitamin C, and the combination of the zest with the apricot is just dynamite. So we're going to add that. As far as vegetables are concerned, the initial vegetables that I had been thinking about for this recipe, for color and taste, was to go like, Asian stir fry. So that would be things like pea pods. You can put in red pepper. You can put in green beans. But I looked in my refrigerator basically to see what I had. And one thing that's really great about this recipe, it's versatile. And if you know the recipes that I talked about before, you want to find vegetables that are tender, that aren't going to take that long to cook up. So I cut up some baby carrots, but I cut them up thin so that they'll cook faster. And I added some fresh green beans, and tonight we're putting in pea pods. So what I'm doing first, for those of you who just came on, is that I'm browning the chicken, and it's going to cook for this takes about 3 to 4 minutes, and then once the chicken is done, it's basically a dump recipe. So the first level of dump are your spices, which we're going to add in some garlic and some ginger. And remember, I have those little frozen Doro cubes, so I'm using one of each of those. And then I'm going to add a little bit of chicken stock and the vegetables. And today's vegetables are going to be the snap peas and the green beans and the carrots. I really love this recipe because it really provides a nice nutritional balance. You're going to get your 5 or 6 ounces of protein, lean protein, and we're using chicken. And you don't just have to use chicken. There's other ways, there's other protein you can use. If you like pork, you can use pork tenderloin. If you like shrimp, you probably could use shrimp in this recipe. So if you want to make it vegan, you can obviously do like a tofu or a tempeh. That would be a great recipe too. Some people even use cauliflower, just using cauliflower instead of the meat. almost like a cauliflower steak, and that will work. I'm actually going to use cauliflower today in a different way. Instead of the rice, which is part of the recipe where you put it on a half a cup of brown rice, I'm actually going to use cauliflower rice. And what that will do, it'll add another cup of vegetables. And did you know that a cup of cauliflower rice is only 35 calories? How crazy is that? And it tastes pretty good. And one other thing that I might do is maybe do a little combination of brown rice and cauliflower rice together, and then that'll give me a little bit more texture, which is kind of nice. Okay, who came on board? Hey Stephanie, how are you? Hi Arjiro, how you doing? So right now I'm done with browning my chicken, or cooking out my chicken. I just need one more minute. And I'm going to add a little bit of chicken broth, just a little bit at a time. And a little bit of a sizzle. I'm going to add some onion. Oh, onion, I forgot about the onion. I'm going to add some onion.
Onion's always good.
Onions are always good. And I'm going to add some snap peas, which I cut into pieces. I'm going to add my, these are my little cubes. One's garlic and one is ginger, so I'm going to add those two. I'm going to add my carrots. And I'm going to add my green beans. And now I'm in phase 2 of stir frying. So I just put a little bit of liquid in there. You don't want to put in too much because you don't want to steam it. You really want to cook it, stir fry it. So this is what I call steam sauteing. And what steam sauteing is, it's a combination of, you're not really sauteing it in a lot of oil. By adding the chicken stock, you're kind of steam sauteing. It's kind of a combination of a little bit of oil and a little bit of chicken stock. And that's another little healthy trick. Like, you know, when you're stir frying and things like that, you keep adding the oil sometimes. And a lot of times what that happens, you add more calories. So why not steam saute, which is a combination, heat up the oil, get your meat in, get it cooked up, and then when you're adding your vegetables, just add a little chicken broth, because that adds flavor. It adds a little bit of moisture to it, and it doesn't add any calories, and you still get the same result. So, versus if you added oil, it would get heavier. And that, you see that a lot, like with a lot of Asian food, a lot of Chinese food in the restaurants, they put in a lot of oil, hidden oil, you know. So I just like to do it this way, and it's another little trick you can do if you saute anything. So what I'm doing now is I'm sauteing for those who just came on board. Hey Maureen, hey Mo, how are you? You want to come over again for dinner, right? So as I was mentioning to the folks here, I've dredged my chicken in some cornstarch because I'm making this recipe gluten-free. All the recipes in my new cookbook, Satisfied, are going to be gluten-free, as a lot of them are going to be dairy-free too. So this recipe is both gluten-free and dairy-free, nutritionally balanced, and nutrient-dense. So I use some cornstarch instead of flour to dredge it. And I really advise now, you know, as we're trying to be our optimal best, to try to go a little light on the gluten and a little light on the dairy, because those tend to be a little bit inflammatory, and I think we need all the good fuel we can, right? Okay, so this is cooking up good. This is what it's looking like now, starting to look like a dish, but it needs some color, as I say, color.
Color.
Color. So we're gonna add now the soy sauce. So I've added in spices so far. I've added in soy sauce, I've added in garlic, I've added in ginger, onions. I'm putting in my soy sauce, and I'm gonna put in my red pepper flakes.
Yay.
Yay, to make it, as Doug calls it, spicy. So we're gonna put in a little bit of red pepper flakes. And you can put in later. If you want more, put in more. And that goes good. The red pepper flakes goes really good with the apricot preserves. You kind of get that really good sweet savory flavor. And then I'm going to add in a little bit more of the chicken broth. The chicken broth is good to add instead of dumping it all at once. I add it in a little bit at a time. And then as it soaks into the vegetables and the chicken, then just add a little bit more. But in total, I'm putting in, since this is almost a half a recipe, if you can believe it, I'm putting in about 1/4 cup. And I post all the recipes online. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you should check out my new website, monadolgov.com. It's awesome. It has a blog, it has all the recipes on it, it tells you a little bit about me, although a lot of you know about me. And this week, I'm so excited, I'm actually putting up a store. I'm looking up all my favorite gidgy gadgets, my favorite air fryer, my favorite gadgets, and I'm going to post it on the store because people have been asking me like, what do you get and what do you buy? And so that way I'll have Mona's favorites, and if you want to get anything that you see on any of these demos, just click on it and Amazon will send it right to you and you don't have to start looking for it. How do you like that? Okay, so this is looking pretty good.
Sure is.
Yep. Okay. This is just going to cook up a little bit more. I'm going to add in the rest of my chicken broth because I really want these, I may add just a little bit more because I really want these vegetables to steam up. Steam, as I called it, steam saute. And what steam saute is, if I can just reiterate again, steam saute is my thing. You know, typically when you're sauteing things, you tend sometimes to add a lot of oil. Well, I add oil in the beginning, get it really hot, brown up my chicken or meat. And then when I put my vegetables in, instead of adding so much oil, I may add a little combination of chicken stock or even hot water, you can use it. And it will still cook and it steams and sautés it at the same time. And you just save a lot of calories, a lot of fat with no difference in flavor, and sometimes even better flavor because you're getting more flavor from the chicken stock. Okay, a few more have come on. Hi, Joyce. Welcome. So for those of you who are on board, we dredged our chicken in some cornstarch or arrowroot flour because this is a gluten-free meal. Added salt and pepper to the mix. And then we add, it's a very easy recipe. We saute the chicken for 4 to 5 minutes, and then we added a whole bunch of vegetables in my refrigerator, or you can add whatever vegetables you want. Tonight we're having green beans, carrots, and pea pods. And then I added a little garlic, a little ginger, some tamari sauce, some crushed red pepper, some onions, and some chicken stock. And it now looks like we're ready to go into the sweet chapter. The sweet chapter is I'm putting in apricot preserves. So there's, when you go to the store, if you want to buy apricot preserves, there's brands like All Fruit, and you should look for the brands that really don't have any extra sugar because you only get the sugar from the natural fruit, so how great is that? And so this is what it looks like, and I'm putting in, this is a half recipe, so it's 2 tablespoons. For the big recipe, it's 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup. I'm going to add a teeny bit of chicken stock just to kind of loosen it up just a teeny bit. And then I'm going to mix it up. I think our bird wants some. So funny, we have this robin and he keeps poking on our window like all the time. I think he wants dinner. He hasn't been around for a couple of hours and now I think he smells dinner.
I think the weather changed and he came
Yeah,
back.
he came back. I think he's probably trying to build a nest. So it's really funny. It's like, hey, Robin, we have like a new member of our family. It's pretty funny. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. The heat is always on medium. When you saute the chicken, you want the heat to be on medium high. And the last part is the fun part. How's that look, guys? Pretty good. Looks good to me. Look good to you, Doug?
Yeah, I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, just a minute more on this. So what I'm going to do in the end is put the fun stuff. So I'm just going to let the apricot jam just kind of dissolve in. And when you heat it up, it gets syrupy, which is great, which is what you want. And one thing about stuff like when you get like orange chicken at an Asian restaurant or you make your own, and I've seen a bunch of recipes, you don't really have to add that much jam or preserves to really get the result. So you only really need for this batch, and this is probably this is about a pound's worth of chicken. You only need like 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of the apricot jam. I've seen double that amount in other recipes, and there's really no need to over sauce it. You just get that great flavor, and you mix it in a little bit with the soy sauce and the crushed red pepper, and you just get the right amount. And this chicken stock with the steam sauteing is perfect because it'll reduce the amount of fat and really make this an unbelievable meal. All right, so what am I putting in? I'm doing zest again. This orange is getting kind of bold, but I'm going to throw in, it's getting to be a bold orange. I'll eat it probably too. To put in some orange zest, as I mentioned, the zest of a fruit in citrus fruit has double the amount of vitamin C as the regular fruit itself, and zest provides a great aromatic with the apricot and the orange together. It's awesome. And one other thing I wanted, and this is a zester. I'll put this on my new store, and I'm just going to put a little bit in. because it just will add just a really nice flavor. And hey guys, if you don't have apricot preserves at home and you have orange marmalade, you can make this recipe and just simply use the orange marmalade instead of the apricot, and it'll work. It'll taste just as delicious. So, another option. Always options at Mona's Kitchen. And if you have broccoli instead of green beans, put the broccoli in. So, it's all good. Okay, so I've added in my orange zest. I'm just going to mix that around. And then the last thing I'm going to do is plate it, so to show you how beautiful it is in a bowl. And then we're going to put crunchy stuff on top. So you can either put this on a bed of rice. So this would be like on a half a cup of brown rice. I'm going to make cauliflower rice for myself. Only has an extra 30 calories, and I still get another cup of vegetables. So this dinner has about 2.5 cups of vegetables. If you want to put some cauliflower rice, a cup of that, you get 3.5 cups of vegetables. Or, you know, so it's really awesome. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. Who's on? Hey Joyce, how are you? Hi Jody. Hey Maureen. Ooh, that one's for the bird.
Man overboard.
Man overboard. It's slippery.
Oh, it's good enough to eat.
Smells really good. This bird wants some dinner outside. Okay. Okay, this is about, just to show you what one serving, because this is like enough. This is about one serving, which is plenty of food, right guys? This is about 5 ounces of chicken, 2 cups, a cup of green beans, a cup of carrots, and a half a cup of pea pods. And I put some orange zest on top. And then the last thing that I'm going to do to make it really crunchy and yum yum is I toasted some almonds. I toasted some almonds, and I'm just gonna put about a tablespoon of almonds on top.
You toast that in the oven?
No, just on the skillet. You just throw some almonds, sliced almonds on a skillet, and you mix it around. You have to be careful, and you mix it around, boom, and then it's done. But check out this dinner, guys. How long did this take me to make? 10, 15 minutes. Prep work was really nothing, another 10 minutes. So in 25 minutes, you can have this amazing apricot chicken with carrots and pea pods and green beans, garlic and ginger, and a little bit of soy sauce. And this whole meal with the rice is going to be probably about 490 calories. So how great is that? A great nutrient-dense meal, perfect for the middle of the week or any week. Great substitutions. You can substitute the apricot jam from orange marmalade if you want. You can sub in whatever vegetables you want. But now you've got the sauce and you'll know how to make it. And you can mix it up as you want each week. And don't forget the crushed red pepper, because that'll give it extra zip, okay? So make this recipe. It's really great, really fun. The recipe will be online tonight. And thank you for coming to Mona's Kitchen. Have a great night. And yes, I'll be back tomorrow. See ya.